Right, we have Nnamdi Agbo, a classically trained actor, possesses a background in film, TV, and stage, with numerous projects to his credit. He stars as the lead character in the play Netflix original film Hijack'93. He was also recognized as one of the top 3 best male actors at the Ebony Life Creative Academy in 2022 and won the Median Access Bank's Accelerate TV Acting Challenge in 2021. It's great to have you. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
What do you mean by a classically trained actor?
So it means having the foundation of acting. When we talk about performance, we talk about theater. Theater is the beginning of everything. The theater keeps you well grounded. And you know, before film came out, we already had only theater.
Okay.
So theater is the foundation, it's the beginning. And for people who go through the theater, you tend to be classical.
Okay, so where and how did you train in the classical acts?
So I actually attended the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, where I studied theater and film.
Okay.
Right, so I got my background in theater through performances and so before I moved into film also.
How was it? Now, there's been that debate between theater and film when it comes to how it's expressed.
Yeah.
You know, theater is more, would I use the word animated, as it were, and you know, you have people who cross over and they say, oh, this guy is acting as though he's on stage. He's a little bit over animated and it will be for film. What are the characteristics in both of them and how do they differ?
So the first thing you need to understand is they're both a medium for you to express yourself. And you know, in the theater, due to the fact that during those days they didn't used to have mics or cameras on the rest of them, there was a large audience. And like how you're seated now, if you do this before 1,000 of people or some sort, people at the back won't be able to see you. So they expected you to be expressive, expected you to be larger than life, you know.
Okay.
While film, you know, it's the camera is just there.
Okay.
So you don't need to do too much, you're just there. Theater is expressing externally, while film is internally, right? So film expects you to use just your eyes. We can see, you know, they say the eyes is the mirror to the soul, so we can see through film. But theater, everybody wants to see your entire body.
Exactly. So a number of people who have done theater are in some ways accused of overacting.
I wouldn't say it's overacting. I would say it is more exaggerated in performance. Okay. You know, like I said before, because of the number of the crowd, because of the audience members, because it's the last person who is number 400 that is there. You need to be larger than life. Okay. Right? But the thing about it is, when it comes to film, you're told to tone it down because you don't need to be too expressive. The camera will capture you. Okay. The camera will see that. So yeah, you know, it's just for you to learn to express yourself, toning it down, you know. When it comes to film, when it comes to theater, you need to. And
you can, you know, move between both worlds seamlessly without any issues and all of that.
So the thing is, I would say sometimes there's a little struggle because, you know, being a theater performer, because theater is performance, film is behavioral. So you understand that sometimes when you're doing theater and when you're done doing that, you go into film. Okay. Some of those attributes of theater can slip in. Can slip in. Yeah, you sometimes of exaggerating your act. So it's left for your director who understands both mediums to tell you, can you tone it down?
Can you tone it down? Yeah. Now, just before we talk about this movie that you did, what had you done prior to this time when you moved over from theater into film? What
okay, so before we say I moved over from theater to film, I haven't moved. Okay. I'm still doing both. Okay. But the things I've done basically when it comes to theater, I have worked with lots of production houses. I have been at the presidential villa twice to perform for the president. I have done lots of plays. I think Duke Has Gone Mad Again. I think I have done lots of plays. I can't seem to remember. But when it comes to film, I still have a couple. But before this film came out, it's very interesting to note that I did a film called Badamasi. Now, now I'm going to explain some of this full circle. 2020, I did Badamasi, and it was about the life and times of Ibrahim Babangida, and I acted as his son. Okay. So I was in that position where he had annulled the elections, and he came to tell me, as his son, that he had done something that's annulling the elections, and the country is in turmoil. Fast forward to that, 3 months later, some boys hijacked the plane. Now from 2020, when I did that, I never knew I was going to be in hijack.
In this one.
So it was real full circle for me after playing Babangida's son to now be one of the boys who hijacked the plane. So it was really an interesting.
Did they know when you were being cast for Hijack'93? Did they know that you had done that one?
No, that's the very interesting part.
Okay.
And it didn't even come to me till I was done filming. In fact, it came to me this year, August. Now, wait. My friend watched Babangida Badamasi and was like, dude, were you in this film? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, are you also in Hijack? And I said, yes.
So both incidents were related, and then you're in both of them.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the process for Hijack'93 and all of that. What was it like? Did you audition for the role? Was it, just given to you and all of that? What was the process like getting this particular role?
So I think 2022, the auditions were put out.
Okay.
You were to make a tape and submit, and of course I did that to their app, and I got a message saying you got a call back. I was like, okay, interesting. And they sent me another script to do. Told me, do this for your own callback. I did that. And one other interesting episode is, I like to say this was divinely orchestrated, you know. The way I did my callback, or the way I performed in my second tape, was how I dressed. You know, when people say, speak into manifestation, I actually wore mine into manifestation. Okay. And how I dressed in my audition tape and how I acted was the character I was actually given. And that's how the character was also dressed. Okay. Right? So getting that role, it was really interesting because for me, it was something that finally I get to actually tell the story of a young person, or tell a story that I had stumbled across in 2016. Now it's my opportunity to tell this. So the good thing was I sat, had conversations with the main hijackers. We had conversations with my director.
Where are they?
They're around.
Okay.
They're around. We had a conversation, and the process of filming for me is, I don't see any character as good or bad. Okay. I see you as a human being, right? We all have characteristics, right? And while I was trying to prepare for the role, I told my director that I was not going to just play a hijacker, that I was going to do something different. And for me, so I studied the man, the real person, and his mindset before hijacking. And then I studied the hijacker when he became the hijacker. And I told myself, I'm going to join both mindsets and meet them at the middle. And the middle part is the human part of him. That was how I came to my process and I said, this is how I'm going to express this guy.
The character.
Yeah.
All right. And there's been talk about historical inaccuracies when it comes to, because the movie has, people have been talking about it and all of that. You know, of course, you had to study the story and all of that. And what stance would you take on that direction when they say that historically there's a number of things that are inaccurate with the depiction of this movie, of the hijack itself?
I would like you to understand that what we did is a historical fiction. Okay. Right? It's the premise, the story of boys hijacking a plane is true. Okay. But because we are filmmakers and creatives, we have the license to actually create something. You know, when you make film, you're not just doing film because you want to do film. You need to educate and entertain, right? And because it is not a documentary, we have the creative license to make what we can make.
What you can make and all of that.
But at the same time, you need to understand that you should not be too far away from the truth. Okay. So we worked with the truth and also created some part of it.
All right, and you guys done, with the response that you've gotten and all of that, how do you feel with how the public is responding to the movie?
There also, of course, in every film, you're going to have critics, good and
definitely,
bad, right?
Definitely.
And for me, I understand that it's part of film. You're never, no matter how good you are, you're always going to be, people are going to complain about you, people are going to say things, people are going to compliment you. And one thing for me is to take compliments, build on it. And if anything you're going to tell me, I take lessons from it. If you're going to say this was not good, I'll say, okay, let me pick lessons from this. So for me, I don't dwell so much on the negative aspect.
All right.
Yeah, I like to understand that. I know that I tried my best. I know that we did work.
Well
to understand that we as an industry are still growing.
Yeah.
The mistake that most filmmakers or most people in Nigeria do is we compare ourselves to Hollywood. We forget that Nollywood and cinema as a whole is a baby. Okay. Right? I mean, we started, I think, 2006 or something, if correct me if I'm wrong, but 2006. We're comparing to an industry that's been there for over 50 years. Come on. Give us some slack, you understand?
We don't have to go through all the things that they went through. I mean, we can learn from what they have got, what they've gone, and all of that. Because, I mean, look at music. Look at Afrobeat.
Right.
I mean, look at the way it has gone. But then, just like you said, I would just want to say that, yes, with what is available to us, we are doing quite a lot of good stuff. Right. What do you have coming on the horizon? What can your fans look out for? This is available on Netflix.
Yes, it is available.
All right. What other projects have you worked on?
So I have other projects in the pipeline, and I have signed an NDA not to disclose.
Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
But I'll just tell you, just look forward to it. Just like you are looking forward, I'll be looking forward to it.
Okay. All right.